Hey, join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, you tell us to come before you thankful. And so, Lord, we want to come before you thankful for your goodness, for your grace, for your love. We're also thankful for your Son, Jesus Christ, through whom salvation is found. Lord, I'm grateful for the way that you would entrust men and women like us, Lord, to be about your mission here on this earth, Lord, to further your kingdom through the gospel of Jesus. Lord, we're thankful for that. Lord, I'm also thankful for the way that you equip, that you give people talents and knowledge and abilities to create things, Lord, that you would use to indeed further your kingdom. Lord, and it's with that I ask you to go before us here, Lord, with the Healthy Church Summit, Lord, that you would bless this time. But Lord, not only bless this time, Lord, would you allow this time to be used by you to equip and to strengthen every pastor, every minister, every staff member, every congregation member, Lord, who would be a part of your mission here on earth to further your kingdom. Lord, we pray for that, Lord. We're thankful for that. We're desperate for you and for your power. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first ever Healthy Church Summit. My name is Casey Frazier, and I am so glad that you are here today. Today's summit is an event focused on reinforcing Ministry Brand's unparalleled commitment and devotion to delivering church ops solutions purposely built to empower healthy churches. You may or may not be familiar with Ministry Brands, so let's start right there. Ministry Brands is the parent company of numerous church software solutions you may be familiar with or may even be using today. Solutions like Easy Tithe and Kindred, trusted names in online and text giving, Simple Church, Alexio, Fellowship One, leaders in church management software and member management, Protect My Ministry, keeping your church safe through background checks and protection services, Shelby Systems, the industry-leading provider of church financial software, and ShareFaith, bringing you church websites, media, curriculum. But who is Ministry Brands? We are more than 750 experts in church operations and technology, many of whom are ministry leaders and volunteers ourselves. Collectively, we serve more than 90,000 churches and faith-based organizations with over 40 years of experience empowering churches through technology, coaching, and consulting. But today isn't about the past. Today is about acknowledging that the needs of the modern church have changed, and we are here to announce some major innovations. The modern church needs more than traditional software and church management systems. You need total end-to-end church ops solutions from a company who understands how to build tools that you need today and for where you want to be tomorrow. The past few years have created massive and sometimes painful shifts in how churches operate. We recognize that there must be a change in how churches use software technology to manage your operations, engage your people, and connect to each unique community. We understand the numerous challenges that churches are facing today, and we have the honor of serving roughly 1 in 3 churches in America with our software solutions, and we've been listening. The past few years have called attention to and accelerated challenges that churches already faced. We know that new member attraction and engagement is difficult. Attendance to traditional Sunday services has changed. Finding and retaining staff and volunteers is harder, and giving has decreased while expenses have risen. Our purpose is to be part of the solution to these problems for church leaders. So we are anchoring on 4 key pillars: community and discipleship, finance, communication and engagement, and staff and volunteer effectiveness. Today marks a new day. To support your healthy church, we are excited to announce a new ecosystem of tools and resources to shift from that traditional disjointed software to a full suite of integrated church ops solutions. Today, we will dive deeper into our newest solutions, Ministry Brands Amplify and the Healthy Church Hub. Before I introduce our first guests, I am also so excited to announce that as a part of our commitment to empowering healthy churches, we will be partnering with 5 ministries by making a $10,000 donation to help fuel their missions. Also, we believe in the power of Ministry Brands Amplify, and we'll be donating the full suite to 5 ministries. With that, please help me welcome our first guests. All right, everyone, please join me in welcoming some of our senior leaders here at Ministry Brands to help us launch Ministry Brands Amplify and the Healthy Church Hub, Janet Franz, Nathan James, and Josh Raymond. By title, Executive Vice President of Core Solutions, Senior Vice President of Product Management, Senior Vice President of Marketing.
That's right.
Bunch of corporate titles, okay? On the Church Leadership Lab podcast, we of course introduce our guests, but we also like the non-corporate bio, right? We ask everyone, tell us more about who you actually are, where you're from, your families, maybe what you do at your churches. So not to put you on the spot, but will you guys tell us a little bit more about your actual selves, right? Yeah. All right, Janet, start with you.
Love to.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have the pleasure to have a fabulous husband and 2 great daughters. We live in Roswell, Georgia, and love to spend time together. But when we're not spending time together, I'm kind of known as the fundraising lady at their school. They attend Mount Pisgah Christian School in Johns Creek. And it's so fun to be able to bring time and treasure to do the mission for the school, to improve the mission of the school, right? So you need a cello, like I'm the lady they call, hey, let's figure out how to raise some money. We need to go on a mission trip, they call me, like, let's figure out how to do that. So there's never a gala that I wouldn't attend or host, by the way. So it's one of the ways that
I can see that.
Yeah, it totally fits. So like to have a good time for a good cause.
Awesome. Josh, do you need a cello?
I don't need a cello.
Because I know a gal.
No.
All right, well, if you don't need cellos,
Not much musical talent.
Okay. Well, what else? What about you?
So my wife and I live in Nashville. We also have 2 daughters in elementary school. And when they're not in school or we're not working, we take a vacation. We like to find adventure. So we usually take our vacations and go find a mountain to climb or a river to raft or something like that. Outside of work, I serve as a deacon at our church. I'm on the finance committee there, and then I also serve on the steering committee for the Nashville chapter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
That's awesome. Nathan, do you also have 2 daughters? Because we have a theme going.
I don't. I have 2 children, both boys, a 6 and an 8-year-old. For fun, we're a bit of a technology family.
No.
That's
shocking. So both my 6 and your 8-year-old are already coding. And so for fun on weekends, you'll find us building computer programs. And we're building a Raspberry Pi or something like that. Not food, a little Arduino microcomputer.
Made me hungry.
That's right. In personal life, so I have had the opportunity to serve at 7 different churches, small, large, everything from a kind of small country Bible church all the way up to a multi-site megachurch. And today, still serve actively in my local community north of Atlanta, where we do production. We do a lot of the technology pieces, so a lot of the graphics and videos and computers and things like that to make sure that the service goes off well.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys for your time. Thank you for being here and helping us communicate these pretty major changes that are going on, right? So
Happy to do it.
Let's dive into it. Janet, I want to start with you. At the top, we said that we are making some pretty big shifts from traditional disjointed software system, CHMS, to this church ops suite, kind of an all-in-one, end-to-end. What is that all about? Explain that to us.
Well, that's an awesome question, because let me first just by saying church management systems, CHMS, is still a really important part of church ops.
Sure.
But it's one component, one module of church operations. There's so much more to church operations. We have websites, we have streaming, we have financial systems, things that we need to use to make our churches run. And bringing that all together in one ecosystem is what church ops is.
Sure.
So we can do the great work that we need to do in a way that allows the ecosystem to work when we need it.
I love that. I want to read this because there's a lot of words in here, but let's talk specifically about the new platform.
Yeah.
In a recent launch announcement, it was said Ministry Brands Amplify is a new platform designed to help church leaders access everything they need to enable healthy ministries and expand their impact on the communities they serve, all in one place with a single sign-on. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
So Janet, what is new or different about that will help church leaders today?
Well, I'm going to key in on one word you said there. Everything is different. So what's different about everything? Well, in Ministry Brands, we have best-in-class solutions and products that have been in the market, some of them for many, many years. We have Easy Tithe, we have Shelby Financials, we have Alexio, we have Protect My Ministry for background checks. Share Faith, which is huge for media. So think about all those products and services coming together in one system called Amplify. How powerful is that you can access what you need when you need it? I need a background check, I go to Amplify. I need a new website, or I need to access my website to make changes, I go to Amplify. So all of this is bringing it together in one amplified solution, right? I mean, it sounds kind of a little corny, but it's true. It's amplifying everything that we're doing all in one.
Can you hit on that services piece for just a second?
Sure. Services is a huge portion for us as it relates to church streaming, so church streaming services, and then all the different services that you need inside of that ecosystem, whether that's professional services for you to be able to increase your engagement, increase your giving. There's all of that baked into Amplify that allows you to, again, go to one spot and get what you need when you need it.
So not just the solutions, but the training, the coaching,
So
it's
much
all in
bigger
one.
than just the technology.
100%.
So it's really cool.
Well, it's one of the things about Ministry Brands, right? We have excellent people and we have excellent solutions. It's bringing that people and technology together.
I love that. All right, we're going to shift to Nathan a little bit. All right.
Okay.
Janet helped us understand the why behind Ministry Brands Amplify. Let's talk about the what. Let's talk about the product itself.
Absolutely.
So what is Ministry Brands Amplify?
Yeah, so Ministry Brands Amplify is really this software architectural strategy called platforming. It's this idea of building things once, really well, really robust, industry standard, and then integrating that across the portfolio. And so it's this idea of building a foundational layer that then we can take the best-in-class products that we've built over the last 40 years and bring them into one ecosystem, making them a true, brand new, all-in-one product. It includes things like single sign-on, single place for user management and account management. It includes things like a standardized user experience, a standardized navigation menu, so you can get everywhere from one place, really making it feel and operate as if it's one system.
So truly no longer these disjointed traditional systems, but a
Exactly.
legitimate all-in-one solution.
A legitimate all-in-one solution.
Perfect. Well, let's talk about what's in it,
Okay.
of course. So I understand we're launching with 5 key modules.
That's right.
So let's go through those, the 1 through 5 for what is in Amplify today.
Yeah, absolutely. So number 1 is people. It's our Amplify People module, and it's what people have historically called the database, right? The church database or the CHMS system. It is this system that houses all of the data around your interaction with your congregants. So things like their giving history, their child check-in history. It has reports. It has dashboarding. It has a couple of my favorite functions. It has workflows and what we call interactions. It's this idea of not only having the ability to house the data and track the data of what small group somebody was signed up in, or what life event happened when their children were born, etc. But also being able to take that data and turn it into actionable insights. So when somebody has a birthday, what if it triggered somebody to give them a call and say happy birthday? Or when somebody gave a large donation, like a cello, what if it triggered, hypothetically, what if it triggered a workflow that had one of the pastors reach out and say thank you for that special gift? What if on the other side of things, from a service perspective, what if somebody who's always signed up for small groups suddenly doesn't sign up for small groups? What if it triggered somebody, the small group pastor, to reach out and understand what's going on in that person's life underneath the scenes, really using that data and making it actionable? So that's all inside of this people module.
Just people.
Just the people module.
All right, number 2, let's talk about giving.
Okay, so inside of our giving platform, we have a really, really robust giving platform with similarly robust robust custom form builder system. This allows you to set up whatever giving forms you want, attach them to whatever funds you want, and then track the donations for your individual congregants. In addition to that, we allow you to take debit cards, credit cards, ACH. We're just finished launching check payments through this as well as things like digital wallets, like Google Pay, etc. All of that in one place, and then it integrates perfectly with the Amplify People module. So it allows you to have all of your data in one place, even though it's two different systems.
Sure. Okay, so people giving mobile app builder.
Okay, yep. So in the app builder, it's more than just a mobile app. There's an app builder piece. So as a staff, you can go in and customize your mobile app specifically for your church, turning on features or the things that you want your congregants to have access to. But the thing that I love most about the mobile app is not necessarily just the app builder, but it's this thing that appears in your members' hands on a daily basis outside of Sunday morning or your primary worship service, right? This gives you an engagement point where you can do things with your congregants, and you can create opportunities for your congregants to interact with your church. Things like messaging, where staff can send out messages in app. Things like streaming, or even your content library of past sermons. A congregant can log in and pull that up and watch it right there. They can interact with prayer requests right there from the mobile app. They can look at a calendar of events, sign up for those events, whether it's a paid event or a volunteer service option, whether it's a small group or a Sunday school, luncheon or potluck. They can do all of that from the mobile app.
That really goes back to the 4 pillars of community and engagement.
Exactly.
Yeah, we hear our customers talk so often about engagement and just how difficult that is, especially now that, we're all spread out and we're all focused on other things and there's so much else going on in life. Being able to stay connected is huge.
That's right. We all know the power of technology when it comes to engaging with other people, not only across the street, but around the world. With the technology inside of Amplify, we're really giving you some tools as a church to be able to do that with your congregants and your members every day, no matter where they're at.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about website.
Okay, yeah, so websites. Oh man, so we are experts when it comes to websites, and I don't say that to brag, but truly we have spent the past 25 years building over 42,000 websites for churches, and some of them are custom, some of them are just technology solutions that we've allowed churches to build themselves, etc. Well, inside of Amplify, we're bringing together 3 of our best solutions. So we have a drag and drop website builder, very similar to like a Wix or Squarespace that you would find outside of the ministry space. We have a WordPress functionality or website builder, as well as a custom website builder that sits on top of our proprietary content management system. All 3 of these, with a click of a button, you can spin up and then use a template to really get started or engage with some of our professional service folks to build a little bit more of a strategy around your individual website. But that's not all. That's the thing that everybody has to build a website. Sure. What I'm excited about is this ministry content distribution network that we've developed inside of Amplify.
Okay, wait, say that one more time. That was a lot.
So it's a ministry content distribution network. Okay. So it's this idea of, instead of you having to manage things in your CHMS and your giving and your websites, what if when you created an event or a schedule in your CHMS, it automatically appeared on your website? When you created a form in your giving, it automatically appeared on your website. When you streamed your service, it automatically appears on your website. And more than that, what if you have multiple websites? What if you have a website for your primary, church, what we'd call big church, right? But your student ministry wants a website of their own, or maybe a school that's attached to your church wants a website. Multiple campuses, or even a missions organization that you've established downtown that you want to create these websites for. With the click of a button, you can add an additional website and model it after one you already have, or create another one from scratch based on the skill set of your staff, right? But all of those are sitting on top of that ministry content distribution network, so you can filter relevant content to the right website with the click of a button. This all sounds complex, right? It all sounds a bit over a lot of people's heads, but because of those 3 different options, it really, without any experience, you can get in and leverage the power of Amplify, leverage the power of this ministry content distribution center, and literally just drag and drop a few things on your screen, and it looks beautiful.
And one of the things we've all talked about a lot is, how do we make Amplify usable for a church of any size? advertise.
That's right.
Exactly.
And you know, websites is a key example. If we're a smaller church and we don't have a lot of resources, we can easily build a website and be present online.
That's right.
But as we grow and get more complicated, I don't have to go switch my system now.
Exactly.
And don't forget about our great people at Ministry Brands that can help you if you need it, right? So they're behind all that technology.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like, I'm not a product manager. That's stuff that it doesn't overwhelm me, but I'm not great at it.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this is kind of making it a little bit more manageable.
Absolutely.
Not to oversimplify, it sounds like a great easy button
Yes.
to still
Yes.
actually have something that looks really good. I'm like, I built that.
Absolutely. And that was the goal, right? Create something that was easy for the small church that maybe doesn't have a technical staff, but also leverage the complexity and the creativity and the power of some of the systems that we've built over the last 25 years. So by bringing these together inside of Amplify, it truly becomes that all-in-one website solution that's integrated through all of the rest of the modules.
Sounds like we could talk a lot about websites, but I'm going to force us to move on to number
Okay,
5.
okay.
Number 5 is live streaming.
Live streaming.
Okay, so that's also in Amplify today.
Yes, so live streaming is also in Amplify today. I mentioned a second ago how that automatically publishes through our ministry content distribution network to the websites. It also automatically publishes out to your mobile app if that's the way that you want to have it set up. And so it allows churches, again, of all sizes, regardless of if you're small and you want to record off of the camera in your computer, or whether you have a whole production team and you want to do true world-class streaming productions. All of that can be done through our streaming platform, fully integrated into Amplify, where you can manage your users and just push it out to the rest of your products.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so those are the 5 key features that are going in today. They're already
right.
there, but there's a lot more that's being baked in. 'Cause, I mean, you mentioned we have all these product solutions, and it's being folded into the one-stop shop.
That's right.
So what does the roadmap look like for the other modules?
Yeah, so in total, we have about 28 products that we want to bring in, revitalize, invest in, revamp, redo the user interface of, and then introduce into Amplify. But we do have 7 more that are coming in the very near future. We're planning on this year. And so those specifically are things like Share Faith, our media and kids curriculum libraries. We're expanding content types into things like student ministry, as well as more VBS content. And all of that library and years of content with over 100,000 different assets are going to be introduced into Amplify here in the next couple of months. We also have worshipplanning.com, which is a scheduling and music management tool to make sure that your Sunday morning services flow well as all of your musicians have all of the songs that they need at their fingertips.
And they
to make
show
sure that they're
up at the
prepared.
right time.
And that they show up at the right time. That's right. So all of that is coming into Amplify later this year as well. Very excited about accounting. We are doing a massive upgrade to our accounting system, bringing that in so that way it's fully integrated to all of the different systems inside of Amplify. I would be remiss if I didn't mention some of the other systems that actually do operate in Amplify today, but through a different contract, right? So we at Ministry Brands believe in safety. We believe in background checks and what we call protections. It's an entire division of ours that focuses on making sure that our staff and volunteers are properly vetted, so that way we're keeping our kids and our community safe,
Very
right?
important.
So inside of Amplify today, through the People module, you can order background checks for your volunteers and your staff, but in the future, we're going to be introducing that and kind of supercharging it, amplifying it, if you will, inside of our Ministry Brands Amplify environment. So that way it's its own module, and again, shared user management, shared single sign-on, things like that. Similarly, HGS, or Higher Ground Solutions, is a product that we have today that does mass communications. So text message, even voicemail messaging. It does voicemail messaging, it does mass emails. All of that, again, is available today through the People module, if you also have a contract with Higher Ground Solutions. But throughout the rest of this year, we are actively working on upgrading that and introducing it into the Amplify platform so it just works seamlessly and it's all in one. 2 others that I'll mention real quick, events and forms. We do have events and forms today through the Giving module, but we are working on, again, amplifying or improving those and introducing them as separate modules inside of our ecosystem.
I love that. There's so much good stuff to come. So maybe we'll have a whole nother one of these.
That's right.
Like every time there's a new release.
We'd have a lot. We would have a lot.
All right, so there's a lot to cover, and you're probably not supposed to have a favorite, but putting you on the spot, if you had to pick a favorite module, favorite feature, what would that be for you?
Yeah, so it actually wouldn't be any of the things we have today. I'm excited about all of them. I'm really excited about how we are upgrading and improving the things, the products that we've had and nurtured and built over the years. But I think what makes me most excited is the fact that by bringing all these things together and Amplify, it gives us a shared data layer. And so essentially what that means is that we have 40 years of ministry data from tens of thousands of churches across the United States that we can bring together into one system that then we can start to understand and look at and use and turn around and give things like predictive analytics tools to our churches so that when you log in to Amplify in the morning, it can tell you things that are going on in people's lives based on their digital interactions, based on their patterns of checking their kids in, or their patterns of giving, or their patterns of small groups, or their patterns of serving, right? When there's a deviation to those patterns, the data can tell us a lot. So we are actively working on investing in something that we call the Growth Suite, which is this predictive analytics tool that really helps our pastors understand what's happening in the lives of their congregants across their entire congregation, and then giving them an opportunity to minister in real time at the point of need.
Yeah.
And just understand how they compare to other churches that are like them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think that's really, really cool. Predictive analytics. You've talked about a lot of things that are happening and going to happen, a lot of innovation, completely new stuff.
That's right.
How are you going to do all that?
Okay, valid question.
So how are we going to deliver this? These are really, really big promises. So,
Yeah.
so how are we going to do that?
Yeah, so first off, we do have the largest R&D organization in the entire industry. We have lots and lots of developers and quality analysts and product people and designers that focus day in and day out to make our portfolio amazing. And a lot of effort is going into upgrading our existing portfolio to go into Amplify. But the reality is regardless of how big our team is, when we also have a product portfolio of 28 products, they get spread out a lot. Sure. So that's one of the things that I'm very excited about with Amplify is by bringing our products together, we're also bringing our team together. So that way we can really focus on the most impactful features that churches are asking for and needing to empower them to do real ministry, right? Now, in addition to that, and in addition to our existing team, we've also committed to standing up a brand new innovation center. So we just put out a press release about it. We are looking at hiring about 50 individuals, high-skilled individuals, mobile developers, data scientists, AI experts, etc., to really dive in and help us build the Growth Suite and other next-generation tools that really meld into Amplify and make it all that much more powerful.
Very, very cool. All right, so are your kids on staff at the R&D Center? Or?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Very soon, working on it.
Okay.
Career path.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's good.
One day.
Well,
plan.
thank you. Josh, I want to shift to you. All right, at the top of the hour, we talked about everything that we're doing is really to empower healthy churches. So let's talk about the Healthy Church Hub. Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, so Healthy Church Hub is one of the things that I'm personally most excited about. We've talked about how we serve more churches than any other provider in the US. That means that we've got access to lots of data. We hear from our customers about the pains and the opportunities that they have. And we've just spent a ton of time coaching them through things, right? We want to bring all that together into one place.
Sure.
And so we want to make Healthy Church Hub really a comprehensive resource center, not just for our clients, but for any church that can utilize it.
Oh, so not just the churches we serve, but any pastor, any ministry leader can come to the hub and find tools that they need.
Yeah, this is intended to be a complementary resource for
That's
any
amazing.
church that needs it. You know, this is about creating value for the communities that we serve through our clients. And so we want to just continue to reinvest in not just our clients again, but any church that can benefit from it.
That's perfect. So what exact tools are going into the hub today? I know there's more coming, but what's in there right now?
Yeah, so I mentioned we've got access to a lot of things, and we're going to package this up for churches in a way that's easy to find, searchable, and it's going to take the form of content that we're all familiar with. Blogs, research papers, data sets, all the educational webinars that we produce throughout the year are going to be housed there, our podcasts. So all of these things are going to be there and searchable, so that if I'm a church and I have a pain point or I have a question about something, I'm going to be able to find a resource to help me.
Well, like what? Like what are our churches looking for? What type of tools they need? You lead some of our coaching teams. What type of education can they provide that might be part of that content?
So they love to learn about how to give faithful giving. to your church. Just be one example. There's multiple examples. It could be coaching around different items for engagement in the church, right? How are you using social media? How are you using different items that can promote engagement in your ministry?
That's awesome. All right, so that's just where it's kind of starting, but just like Nathan has a roadmap, so does the Healthy Church Hub. So
Yes.
what else will be added in there over time?
Yeah, I don't know if our plans are as ambitious as Nathan's.
Do you have an R&D center? Because
No.
my goodness.
No, but
All
maybe
right.
we'll borrow some folks. No, we do have ambitious plans for the Healthy Church Hub. One of the first things we're going to be launching here soon is a marketplace. So we understand that as much as we offer for churches, we don't have everything they need, right? We focus on software and services, but there's lots of other things that churches need to be able to run effectively. So we're building a marketplace of preferred providers so that churches can come there and really look for a solution for whatever their needs are to run their kind of day-to-day operation.
That's perfect. So other things to learn. So what about the university?
Yes, that's another big part of what we're working on. We want to take all this knowledge that we've built, all the time we've invested coaching, and really turn that into a curriculum. You know, whether you're a volunteer at a church who has to help with accounting and bookkeeping, or you're responsible for running a kids ministry, or you have to build an online giving program because you need a new cello for the orchestra.
Exactly.
We want to offer, really systematized classes for people to come and learn how to do those things, because we know a lot of people get thrown into these roles or they volunteer, but they might not have the experience they need. We want to help them get up to speed really quickly.
I love that you mentioned volunteers, because so many people serving in ministry are not full-time staff. They're volunteers that have real jobs outside of that. So I love that you mentioned that.
And the last thing on that point is we also want to make Healthy Church Hub a forum, right? It's not just it's not just a place to come and get information. We want to connect church leaders with each other, where they can ask questions, learn from each other. There's all these unique challenges out there, right? Somebody else somewhere in this country has faced that same challenge. And so we want to make a way for people to connect. A lot of that happens on Facebook today and through other social media channels. We want to formalize that and make it a little bit more constructive and centralized. That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, there's one more thing that I know we may not be able to speak a ton about it today, but I do want to at least mention it because I know it's in development and it's really, really cool, tying back to empowering healthy churches. Can you talk a little bit about the church plant program?
Yes. Another thing that we're really excited about, again, in this spirit of investing in these communities and investing in our clients, not just in innovative software and innovative products, we want to invest in helping them be successful. So that's really what Healthy Church Hub is all about. But this church plant program is where we're making investments in smaller churches. They're going to go through an application process. If they qualify, we're investing to offset a big portion of the cost of our software. We're also giving away free coaching and services and things to just help them be successful.
That's amazing.
We talk about church plants. There's seeds. We want those seeds to take root and help those churches grow and flourish.
I love that and cannot wait to unveil a lot more of the whole program for those church plants. I love that we're investing in that. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your time, your passion. You're some of our senior leaders, and I really appreciate that you've been here and to share about Ministry Brands Amplify and the Healthy Church Hub.
Yeah,
Thanks for that.
great.
Thank you.
If you're just joining us, again, welcome to the Healthy Church Summit, where we are redefining church management and rethinking end-to-end church operations. So far, we have talked about the brand new Ministry Brands Amplify platform, as well as the roadmap plans that are well underway. We've announced an opening soon development office dedicated to R&D and innovation, and we've heard about the Healthy Church Hub. I love that we got to hear from our own leadership team, their hearts, their passion, and dedication to the local church. As Josh mentioned, we are dedicated to investing in growing the church. So quick reminder, we are giving away $50,000, $10,000 to 5 ministries and 5 new Ministry Brands Amplify accounts. But behind all of that vision and strategy and hard work is you, the local church leaders who we have the honor to serve. With that, I would love to welcome one of our friends and a true servant leader pastor. All right, everyone, allow me to introduce you to Pastor Adam Spurlock and Steve Horton. Adam is a church planter and pastor of Restoration Community Church in Hanahan, South Carolina, which was planted in 2013 and has grown to 500 to 600 in weekly attendance. Adam also serves as a church planting strategist for the Charleston Baptist Association and is a church planter coach with the Southern Carolina Baptist Convention. He and his wife, Katie, have 3 kids and have been married for 22 years. And Steve is our Director of Customer Marketing and Experience Design here at Ministry Brands, where he leads our team focused on connecting churches with vital resources to address current ministry challenges and set the stage for future success. His extensive leadership experience in nonprofits, large agencies, and of course, churches. Steve brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to his role. Guys, thank you both so much for being here. And Steve, I'm really just going to turn this over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Casey. Adam, we learned a little bit about you there in the intro, which is great, but tell us a little bit more about Restoration Community Church and your calling into ministry.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us. Well, back in 2012, I'm working in corporate America. I'm serving my local church, which I love dearly, and I'm coaching T-ball. And my son's 5 years old, and we're at shortstop in Hanahan, South Carolina. And it was just like a moment in time where the Lord really just gave me a burden for our community, right? So again, I'm working in corporate America, I'm serving my local church, have no desire to church plant, have no desire to be a pastor. But in this moment, the Lord kind of gave me just a burden, it's the best way I can put it. And I was able to see our community for the broken homes that were there, the loneliness, the addiction, certainly the spiritual dryness that was there. And I just remember the Lord making it very clear at that moment what He was calling us to do. And so that's kind of how we started Restoration Community Church there in Hanahan. We're 12 years old, we've seen God do some great things by His grace, and so we're super thankful for that.
Well, that's a great story there and a great intro to the next question I have for you, which is, we've talked a lot today about this idea of healthy churches, and that can mean different things to different people, obviously, and different things to different pastors and even church groups. So tell us a little bit about what you think being a healthy church is.
Well, I appreciate this qualifier, right? Because if you ask 14 pastors that question, you're going to get 14 different answers. But I think there's some truth no matter who you are, right? I think there has to be a gospel presence, if you will. Right? The gospel has to drive everything we're doing at Restoration or any healthy church, right? So not only do you have a gospel presence, right, and you're being moved by the gospel, but I think there's called, qualified leadership there. But then as your church is engaging the community around them, right? In a healthy church, I believe you're going to reach people who need to hear the gospel and respond to the gospel. Then you're going to take that person to a discipleship process, and they're going to start giving, and they're going to start growing, and they're going to start going, right? And so now you have a follower of Jesus who in a healthy church is going to start making life decisions differently because of Jesus. And then ultimately they're going to start making the disciples of Jesus their own, right? So I think there's some marks of a healthy church. That's just my opinion on that, if that makes any sense at all.
Absolutely, yeah, that's great.
Well, kind of a question for both of you, really, and being devil's advocate here. We're talking about being a healthy church, so I wonder if some people listening might hear that if we are saying you need to be healthy, are we actually implying that you might be sick? And I don't think we are. I think we're really talking about being preventative or proactive, but what do you guys think?
I think that's well said, right? So I would hope that no one thinks that we're assuming or insinuating that there's sickness there. At the same time, like even at Restoration, I would argue that there are aspects of our ministry that are very healthy, and we thank God it's by His grace that they're healthy. And we're also trying to be preventative, right? So that we're not going down a road that's going to lead to sickness. At the same time, I don't care who you are. I don't care how good the pastor is or the leadership team is. We are sinful, broken people. And so there's always going to be room for growth. There's always going to be room where there is some sickness there and there needs to be some healing there. So I would just assume and maybe encourage a humble approach to that reality. Does that make sense?
That's great, Adam. And I only add, just from my role on staff previously at a church, I was responsible for keeping up with the metrics. So as it pertained to what we called BASE, so that's baptism, attendance, stewardship, and engagement, I would help measure those for our leadership team each and every week. And so keeping up with where folks were in their spiritual journey and where we were collectively as a church. And so just understanding and knowing how those metrics play into the health, whether it's preventative or proactive, the health of a church.
Good answer.
Yeah. And it kind of leads me to my next question for you, Adam, which is when you think about just healthy churches, you think about the church staff and everything that goes into between Sundays, right? The Monday through Friday in between. Talk a little bit about, because there's some statistics out there that are pretty alarming. I got them written down here so I don't get them wrong, but 84% of church staff members feel that they're on call 24/7. Another 72% report that they feel like they have to work more than 55 hours per week just to get their job done. So with those statistics in mind, tell us a little bit about the stress that's currently on staffs at churches.
Yeah, I think for our staff, we can relate to those statistics. I would imagine so many of the listeners can as well. I'll share a story with you, right? So I remember in like year number 3 or 4 of Restoration Community Church, we're a church plant, we're doing the setup, tear down. It's so laborious, right? And plus you have the counselings and you have all the ministry needs. Well, this particular week, I worked 50 hours a week, but I didn't teach. Like I wasn't preaching that day. And I remember walking into service on a Sunday morning, and this guy comes up to me with all the genuineness in the world. He shakes my hand, and he says, "Man, I bet you enjoyed your week off." And I just remember having the most ungodly thoughts for a pastor that you would ever have on a Sunday morning, because there is so much that goes on behind the scenes, Monday through Saturday, leading up to Sunday. And there's an immense amount of pressure on the staff, whether it's from things like checking the social media posts, right? Updating the website, making sure the sermons go online. There's so many things in our culture, in our era today, that go into being a healthy church that creates so much pressure on a staff when all we want is time to minister to people.
Now, you touched on this a little bit in some of the explanation or some of the examples that you gave, but when you think about technology and its role on those weekly administrative tasks, those church operations tasks, if you will, for a church, talk a little bit about your experience with technology and kind of the journey you've been on there.
Yeah, so number one, technology has always helped us, right? But I want to go back again to like year number 2 or 3 of Restoration Community Church, where we're growing and God's doing some cool things, and we have technology, right? But we have this technology piece for our website. We have this database for membership. We have this database for financials. Like we're all over the place, right? And so I have a small staff, some of which are volunteers, right? At that time, they're trying to manage all these different platforms. Fast forward, right? So a couple of years ago, we decided to take all of that into one platform, right? One technology piece where everybody on our small staff has access to it. And so for example, if a guy named Bob Smith walks in for the first time, right? And we're able to track him as a first-time attender. And then I want our staff behind the scenes to be able to track Bob. Like, is he an attender? Did he come back for a second time? Is he now a regular visitor, a regular attender? Did he go through a membership class? Did he get baptized? Is he giving? Is he serving? On and on and on. Like, I want our staff to be able to see Bob's progress through our assimilation and discipleship process. Technology has played a huge role in that, has allowed us time back to go minister to people. That is my passion.
That time back, that's kind of what we're all about with the technology. And so throughout today's summit, you've heard about 2 things. You've heard about Ministry Brands Amplify, which is the technology as you just spoke about. And then we've heard about the Healthy Church Hub. And so take just a moment to, having heard a little bit about the Healthy Church Hub earlier, talk about what that resource might mean for you and your staff and the impact it might be able to have.
So I am kind of excited about that, right? And again, I'll share a story with you, right? This past week, I spent about 2 hours with a group of pastors in the Charleston area. 30 minutes to get there, 30 minutes to get home. So a 3-hour investment to talk to some pastors about things that are going on in our lives and how we can best tackle those in our ministry. I think there's value in face-to-face meetings. There always will be. Those won't go away. But I don't often have a 3-hour window to invest in grabbing some material and some resources that I need. So I'm excited about this resource because on any given day, I may need just 5 minutes to pull a counseling resource. Or my student pastor may need to read an article about how to best effectively minister to students in 2023 who are going through whatever issues they're going through. This one resource, again, goes back to time. I don't have time to give 3 hours every single week. I wanted a resource that'll provide my staff and me those resources that we need just to manage our task, to give us opportunities to minister to people.
Man, I love to hear you say that, because that is the heartbeat behind the Healthy Church Hub and everything that we're creating there. And one of our most popular pieces of content that we put there is our Church Leadership Lab podcast. And so we ask a couple questions at the end of each episode. And so I've pulled several of those that I want you to try to take a stab at today.
Okay.
On the spot. Hate to put you on the spot, but I'll do it. The first one is going to be, what is your favorite piece of technology right now?
Okay, so it's not a very sexy answer, but it might play into what you just said. So I love my AirPods, and I'll tell you why. There's a certain time of day where I go running and I go exercising and put those bad boys in, and it's just me and the Lord, right? Whether it's worship music, whether it's podcasts, whatever it is, but that is my most favorite piece of technology right now.
Well, that's awesome. That's probably a lot of you all as well, I'm sure. The second question, and it hits a little bit closer to home, is what piece of encouragement would you have for the pastors watching today?
Good question. I think I would say this, don't give up, right? We live in a culture that's always changing. People are changing, people's moral compasses are changing, the expectations of people are changing, but we serve a God who does not change, and we preach a gospel that does not change or nor lose power. What I would argue to anyone who's thought about quitting is that Galatians 6:9 tells us that do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap a harvest. That is a promise from God that I just want to encourage our pastors to hold on to. Keep your hand to the plow, because the mission's worth it.
Guys, this is so good, and this is the very heart of what we're here today for, and what we do and why we do it, to empower ministers and church leaders to affect their unique communities and ultimately grow the kingdom. So Pastor Adam, Steve, thank you for this time, and thank you for this good conversation.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Once again, thank you so much for attending and watching the Healthy Church Summit. Don't forget to be eligible for one of the $10,000 donations. Be sure to schedule a demo of Ministry Brands Amplify. In fact, schedule a demo anyway. Our team cannot wait to connect with you and show you this brand new suite of solutions. Thank you so much.